MANAGE-FISHub in collaboration with Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies. The Manage Fisheries Innovation and Startup Hub is a national level incubation and innovation hub at the National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, Hyderabad, supported by Department of Fisheries, Government of India under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Through MANAGE-FISHub, we provide a structured incubation support, mentoring, and capacity building programs to enable innovators and startups to scale their business and ideas into a sustainable and impactful ventures. In the year 2025, MANAGE-FISHub successfully implemented 7 programs, conducted 76 expert-led sessions, and reached over 1,000 participants from 25 states and union territories across the country. Building on this strong foundation, FISHTech webinar series was launched to improve technology dissemination, knowledge sharing by connecting fisheries research institutions directly with those working at the field level. It is being conducted from 21st January to 30th January in collaboration with Kerala University of Fisheries and Ocean Studies. Now, to formally introduce the today's resource person, I would like to invite my fellow intern, Ms. Kalevani Alagarsamy.
Thank you, Ms. Archana. Good morning, all. I'm Kalaivani from MANAGE-FISHub team. It's my pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Siranji Prathan sir, an assistant professor of fish nutrition and head in charge of the Department of Aquaculture at COFOS Kochi. Sir has over 20 years of experience in aquaculture nutrition, feed technology, and sustainable aquafeed development. Expertise includes alternative protein sources, functional feeds, and feed extrusion technology. Dr. Prathan sir has led national and international field research projects. He has guided many postgraduate and doctoral students in fishery sciences and published more than 50 research papers in reputed international journals. Also worked closely with aquafeed and biotechnology industries as a consultant. Dr. Pradhan sir has international research exposure, including the work in the Navy. With this brief introduction, now I would like to hand over the session to you, sir.
Thank you, Archana, and thank you, Kalaivani. Okay, we can start our session. So the slides are visible to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, able?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here I thank Manage for giving me this opportunity. So this topic we have kept today for discussion is recent advances in aquafeed technology. So I'll be trying to cover the applications of aquafeed and to some extent how it is useful in fish nutrition research. So in a blending these two aspects, I will be presenting the topic today. So to begin with, next please. Yeah, we know the importance of aquaculture in our country, but if global scenario I will talk about, now in very recent past, our aquaculture, like global aquaculture production has surpassed that capture fisheries production. So on an average, if you'll see, the aquaculture production is 51%. Total global aquaculture production has reached up to 134 million tons. But aquatic animals are 94.4, whereas from fisheries, like from capture fisheries side, you will see it is around 90 million tons. And when I'm talking about like aquaculture production is increasing, it's a like sun-rising sector. So total production has really amazing now. So all this production has not been possible without the application of aquafeed. So aquafeed is one of the like important inputs in aquaculture sector. Without proper application of aquafeed, definitely our aquaculture production, what we have achieved today, was not possible. So the 7% of the like aquaculture production, aquaculture is relying on the like application of aquafeeds. But if I'll talk about this Indian scenario, where the application of aquafeed is still not up to up to that much of that mark. So some kind of we'll tell like 15 to 20% of aquaculture production, whatever is happening in India, is feed based. That means we are applying aquafeed to that. So a lot of like opportunities are there in particularly India when this aquafeed application and aquaculture is concerned. So here in this graph, I want to show you, like, it is taken from Takan and Metian in 2015, who predicted in 2015 that by 2025, our global aquaculture production will reach around 87 million metric ton. But yeah, recent data, it is showing around we have reached 76 million metric tons comfortably. But it is steadily growing and the future is there. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, coming to the Indian scenario of aquafeed preparation, aquafeed production and application, I will tell we have 38 dedicated feed mills in our country with the production capacity of 3.5 million metric ton. So if you compare this with China, really we are lagging behind. In China, you will find around 1,200 feed mills are available. So we can imagine when we are only 38, they have more than 1,000. So in that way, we are really lagging behind, though we are second in aquaculture production. So a lot more to do yet. So then, but whatever 35 aquafeed mills are there in our country with production capacity of 3.5 million ton, but all the feed mills are not operating in their full potential, and we are just only producing around 1.3 million tons. That means 50% of the capacity only being utilized. So if you'll see, aquafeed demand is around 7 million metric tons, and we are procuring half of the requirement from other countries. So a huge quantity of aquafeed we are actually importing from other countries. Though in India, like we will tell, like recent past, our aquaculture production has reached almost 14 million metric ton, and like I just told you, 15 to 20% of aquaculture is only feed based. So large part of the aquaculture is also going with help of farm made feeds. So the farm made feeds means like farmer is managing the feed in the farm site. It's a kind of with low technology, with very minimum knowledge, they are preparing the own feed, because the commercial feeds are very expensive. In that way also, many that records are missing. Like we are though telling 1.3 million tons actually available in country, but some kind of informations are there. 8 to 9 million metric tons of farm made feed are also produced in our country. So this aqua feed industry is really in India is very big. It is almost about $3.25. So you can imagine how much scope is there in this aqua feed industry. Next, please. So coming to like this evolution of aquafeed technology, I would just like to tell you the history of this aquafeed evolution. So the concepts or aquafeed preparation or application, what now we are talking about, it started way back in 1920s to 30s, but definitely not in our country. It started basically in US, where in 1920 and 30 they started preparing some kind of wet feed. Wet feed in the sense like whatever ingredients were available in their vicinity, like some dry ingredients and some kind of wet ingredients, basically like your slaughterhouse wastage or some dead fish, all this time, and some kind of oil cakes and all. So they are simply mixing that, putting some 2% sodium chloride salt mixture, and in that way it was containing huge quantity of moisture or water, and its shelf life was very very less. If wet feeds were prepared, so within 1 day or two you have to finish it, otherwise it will get putrefied. Or that slowly led to a concept like how we can reduce the moisture around 1940s. So semi-moist feed concept came, where the moisture percentage reduced around to like 30%, 35 percentage, to be precise 32 percentage we tell. So in that semi-moist feed gave a lot of advantage, in the sense like as the moisture was less, its storage period got increased and utilization also increased. In that way, semi-moist feed was prevalent up to 1940s to 50s and 60s. Slowly a dry feed concept came, where we just reduce all the moisture and concentrate on the dry matter, and basically dried ingredients are preferred for the formulation of the feed and preparation of the feed, and whatever moisture will be there, that will be dried with the help of a dryer, and it is accepted when it is below 15% of moisture is there. So slowly that type of feed become very popular, and with the application of this dry feed, that slowly revolutionized our aquaculture industry. So then a lot of like research aspects also started with that dry feed preparation and all, and we started using like from farm made feed to compound feed, means many different kind of machinery, extrusion technology, that we will slowly discuss, we'll be slowly discussing all these things, slowly added into this aquafeed industry. And a huge thing when we are discussing about our aquafeed preparation or this feed technology, the ingredients play a very important role. So without proper ingredient, we cannot prepare a quality feed. So the feed is as good as the ingredients are. So in that way, this fish meal and fish oil is considered to be the benchmark ingredient in aquafeed preparation. So fish meal is a very quality ingredient. It is basically dried fish, like which is caught, or unwanted fish which is caught from the marine sector, or is not used by human consumption and all. That is processed, dried, and powdered to make it fish meal. So fish meal contains all the essential amino acid. You will find trace minerals in that. You will find like hidden growth factors, which are like, means many bioactive compounds are there in the fish meal, which really is important for our aquafeed preparation. Similarly, fish oil is also a good source of omega-3 fatty acids and all, and high energy. So that is also very important for aquafeed preparation. But over last 2 decades, more than 20 years, it has been seen. So this fish meal and fish oil production, it's static. There are a lot of dependency on the fish meal and fish oil. So there is a research thrust to replace fish meal and fish oil from the aqua feed. We always think the alternatives of fish meal and fish oil, because fish meal and fish oil are not available in sufficient quantity, and because of high demand, always the cost is high. So for that, the alternatives are always accentuated. Okay, so then slowly another aspect of aquafeed evolution happened, like it was slowly associated with health and sustainability. So only you are giving your feed not only for the growth of the fish, you should like design or formulate your feed in such a way with the different type of nutrients, so that your fish health should be taken care of. So that is also another aspect where a lot of research avenues are there, or people do feeds are basically like prevention is the better than cure. In that way, we always design our feed. And of course, sustainability, what type of ingredients we will use, which will not really disturb our environment, and the carbon footprint will be less. All these angles also, many different type of research activities are going on. These are the slow like evolution of aquaculture technology. All these aspects I will be trying to cover. Next, please. Yeah, when we are discussing about these ingredients, which is very important, without ingredient we cannot prepare our feed. So, and one ingredient is never called as a feed. Feed means a mixture of ingredients. So at least two ingredients should be there. And when we are thinking about this ingredient, how we will go for this ingredient selection, it should be like available locally, like with a limited effort you should get that ingredients. You should not think like we are here in South India and some ingredient is available in North India. You should not be adamant that I will use only those ingredients in my aquafeed formulation. Unnecessary, the cost will increase and you will not get. So availability should be there. So then competing, it should not be that competing in the sense like these are same ingredients all the animal husbandry sector is dependent on. So the ingredients we are taking, the same ingredients are also used by poultry or piggery or from cattle side. So in that way, you have to very carefully choose the ingredient which are less competing. If a poultry sector is competing with you and for that reason cost is increasing, you better avoid that, or you should find the alternative of those ingredients. You should be economical. If it is available in less price or cheaper price, so we should go that, but without compromising the product quality, of course, and better suited to the production objectives, like what are our fish species, whether it is herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. So what kind of, if carnivorous, naturally more protein rich ingredients are required. If it is herbivorous, okay, with less protein rich ingredient we can manage. So in that way also you should select your ingredient, and ingredient characteristics and limitations should be known to us. That means entire approximate composition, the nutrient profile, the amino acids present in the ingredient, the like anti-nutritional factors present in the ingredient. All this information should be present with us so that we can effectively formulate or prepare our feed. So ingredient information is utmost. So we'll see what are the common ingredients are used in aquafeed. Next, please. Yeah, here I have listed some plant ingredients. So these are the ingredients which is mostly preferred for our aqua feed preparation. So these plant ingredients are basically the byproducts, I would say. The main products are always used for human consumption. Let it be if I'll tell you about vegetable oil industry. So the vegetable oil, whatever oil you tell, like sunflower oil or soybean oil or groundnut oil, these oil are our food. That is, the main product is used for us. When the oil is extracted, whatever the byproducts remain, that byproducts we take for animal or our aquafeed preparation. In that way they are called oil cakes. So when the oil is extracted, what remains is known as oil cakes. So in India there are around 9 to 10 major oil cakes. These major oil cakes are from basically comes from the oil industry, like vegetable oil industry. You know, like soybean, sunflower, sesame, safflower, your groundnut oil cake, mustard, linseed, Niger, castor, even your cotton. In that way, 9 to 10 major oil cakes are there when the oil is extracted. So the cakes are very rich in protein, around 30 to 50% protein you will get. As fish is protein loving, the requirement of protein for fish is 2 to 4 times more than the mammals. So for these oil cakes are very suitable, as it largely satisfies the protein requirement of the fish. Then similarly, nowadays also focus is diverted towards aquatic weeds. So aquatic weeds like your ajola, you know about. So ajola is very rapidly propagates when you go for ajola cultivation. Like in 2 days time, you will find like they are doubling in their biomass. So in that way, ajola is a very ready source which also contains around 30% protein on an average. Even nowadays, a lot of focus is given to the seaweeds. So there are different kind of seaweeds, as you know. So the brown seaweeds are little basically protein rich. So those type of seaweeds are also preferred. You have to see like which seaweed contains relatively more protein. So that type of seaweeds are also getting a lot of attention. There are legume seeds. Legume seeds, if I will tell, like soybean also a legume. So similarly, your cow bean, faba bean, lupine, so cowpeas, so many different type of, even sesbania, many different types of legumes are there. All these black gram, green gram, so that also comes into the legume category. So that also like if it is low quality or like not suitable for human consumption, that type of legumes are also given attention for the feed preparation. Leaf meals are also there. Moringa leaf of the common example is very rich in nutrients, and all protein content is also relatively good. So it's one of the best ingredient in leaf category, I would say. That is also getting attention. Leaf protein concentrates are also getting attention. Similarly, seed protein isolate concentrates. That means protein concentrate and isolate means when you are taking some kind of, let it be soybean meal, when you are removing uh, other nutrients, your carbohydrates or lipid, and focusing on concentrating only lipid. Only protein. You are removing lipid, carbohydrate, and focusing only protein. You are concentrating the protein. So in that way, just isolating what is that? Managing the isoelectric point of protein. So that kind of isolates or protein concentrates can be prepared. Nowadays, that is also getting a lot of attention. Similarly, there are many non-conventional ingredients. Non-conventional means we know less about those ingredients. They are protein rich sometimes. It is available also. But we know less about their use or efficacy or how it will go for feed preparation and how fish will utilize. In that way, they are called non-conventional ingredients or many alternative proteins. If I'll give you example of like rubber seed. Similarly, this cow tamarind or samania, the picture I have shown you here. So this is your cow tamarind. It's very common. So the protein of the seed is also around 25%. So that type of many non-conventional ingredients are also there. So which can be utilized for our aquafeed preparation from the plant ingredient side. Similarly, in animal ingredient side also many ingredients are there. So from animal ingredients, if you like slaughterhouse waste, meat meal, meat and bone meal, so many products are also there. But nowadays, some regulations are there, like your European Union is putting a lot of regulations not to use slaughterhouse waste or like your mammalian products. So because of some kind of diseases and other things are spreading, because that is concentrated in suppose marine, your cattle, and we are just bringing it into our fishery sector, that disease, because of unnecessary application of those ingredients in aquafeed formulations. Okay, like common diseases BSE, which is like bovine spongiformis encephalitis. So it is from the cattle side. If you are using the cattle product in your aquafeed preparation, it will come to your fish. So that should be avoided. But here in this slide, I want to show you about some novel and sustainable feed ingredients where a lot of attention is going nowadays. One of the very important ingredient is insect meal. So insect meal, as you know, there are like 5 to 6 insect which is very popular for this insect meal production. So though insect species, there is more than 10 lakh, 1 million insect species are there, but only we are focusing on 5 to 6 varieties of insect, and among these 5 6 3 are very important. One is your black soldier fly, another is yellow mealworm, another maybe your cricket meal, house cricket meal. In that way, 3 4 are very important. Here I have shown the picture of a black soldier fly. This black soldier fly is an insect which basically utilize the organic waste, and in their pupa stage, when the early developmental stages, they accumulate lot of like lipid and protein in their body. So we harvest the larvae at 4th or 5th instar stage, we tell, and we process it for aquafeed preparation, which is very protein rich. The amino acid profile is also equivalent to fish meal. So it is 30 to 75% protein you will find in that. Similarly, another protein is single cell proteins. Single cell proteins are basically the microbes like algae, yeast, or bacteria, which is also you will find 50 to 70% protein. Okay, so generally taking some kind of substrates when this fermentation, like bacterial fermentation, is prepared. So, and later when biomass of bacteria or yeast or algae yeast is collected, that is known as your single cell protein. So one of the very like important single cell protein you'll be knowing, it is spirulina. So spirulina is nowadays even used by the astronauts. Those are going to is anybody asking something? Okay, if the spirulina is the astronauts are taking, that NASA astronauts are taking to space, so you can imagine how protein rich or nutrient rich the spirulina is. Similarly, another product is there, it's called curon. That curon is also like prepared from a like kind of a yeast, so it is also highly protein rich. So it is used as alternative of meat. So like my point is, so they are very protein rich and a lot of attention is going there. Similarly, plant protein concentrate or isolate, I just told few minutes before. Similarly, fish waste, as aquaculture production is increasing, so when this we are processing the fish, lot of waste is generated. That waste also we are preparing, processing for aquafeed preparation. Agro-industrial byproducts like your alcohol industry, if I'll tell you, the substrates, your corn or rice is fermented and alcohol is prepared from that. After the alcohol is extracted, what remains is known as your DDGS, dryers distiller grain with solubles. That is also kind of a protein rich. Good quality DDGS will give you around 40% protein and all. So in that way, those ingredients are nowadays very preferred ingredients, I would say, and it is comes in the category of novel ingredients. Okay, and we are giving a lot of emphasis to that. Next please. Yeah, this ingredient information is what I'm talking. There are more than 18,000 ingredients are available for aquafeed preparation. So there are many different type of websites. You will find International Feed Vocabulary, International Feed Information Center, INFIC. There are AFIA, Feedipedia, like Wikipedia. There is a website. It is called Feedipedia, maintained by INRA France. That is their aquaculture, their agriculture, National Agriculture Research Institute, and some FAO is also associated with that. Some another two institutes are also associated. They maintain a website, Feedipedia. You will get the information about different kind of feeds, ingredients. Then there is also a website nowadays getting very much popularity, the International Aqua Feed Formulation Database. So from all these database or websites, you will get information about the ingredients. Next, please. Yeah, I talk about now protein ingredients, how it is important or not important, but you cannot neglect the lipid as well. Okay, lipid is the next important nutrient as far as aqua feed is concerned. So in lipid, as I told you, fish oil was commonly used previously or traditionally, but now the fish oil is also very expensive. Other than fish oil, many different kind of oils are used. So mostly these vegetable oils, but there is a problem. When vegetable oil composition point of view, you will never find they are up to the mark of fish oil, because in vegetable oils there is the absence of like long chain fatty acids like EPA and DHA, but still like with a lot of MUFA content or some kind of N3 fatty acids like linolenic acid, many different kind of oils are there. So that is a research area. So we use different kind of vegetable oils and their efficacy is also checked. So in few cases we are successful, like in aquaculture industry, like aqua feed industry is successful by preparing those type of feed for aquaculture. So it depends on the structure and functional lipids, like as I told you, omega-3 fatty acids or omega-6 fatty acid, the ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid plays also very important role when we prepare a feed. Then optimization in the front of lipids and protein, that is we tell like protein to energy ratio, PE ratio. A proper protein energy ratio is very important as far as aqua feed is concerned. Without proper balanced energy, your protein will not be properly utilized. So that we call protein sparing effect of energy ingredients, that is your lipid and carbohydrate. When sufficient quantity of energy and carbohydrate will be there with proper balance, with proper balance to protein, the protein will be spared for growth. So for that reason also we have to think the importance of lipid and other energy sources. So species specific energy utilization also, like some carnivorous species, they can utilize even better lipid in their diet comparison to other herbivorous species. And even temperature, like those are in cold water and those are in temperate water. So in that way also lipid requirement varies. So there are really importance of lipid for aqua feed preparation. Next, please. So carbohydrate, again a cheap source of energy. So depending upon the complexity of the carbohydrate, like complexity when I'm talking, it is whether monosaccharide or is a oligosaccharide or a polysaccharide, in that way, or complex non-starch polysaccharide, whatever. So depending upon their complexity, the utilization varies from fish to fish. And in general, carbohydrate doesn't play that important role, because no fish in general requires carbohydrate in their diet. Without carbohydrate they can normally can manage. But we, when we formulate our feed, we don't neglect carbohydrate. Why? Because our intention is, if carbohydrate will be utilized properly for energy purpose, which is the cheapest source of energy, your protein will be spared. So for that reason we do some kind of processing to better utilize the carbohydrate. The processing is, common processing is a kind of cooking. That cooking leads to starch gelatinization. So when the starch gelatinization happens, that leads to more better digestion in case of many fish species. So in that way it also helps for protein sparing. So another aspect of carbohydrate is, because as you know, starch is made up of amylose and amylopectin. A proper ratio of amylose and amylopectin is very useful for aqua feed preparation. Nowadays all the aqua feeds are for all fin fish. We are preparing kind of a floating feed. and floating feed without proper carbohydrate proportion or ratio cannot be prepared. So in that carbohydrate, we try to fix this amylose and amylopectin ratio, where we always give emphasis to amylopectin. Amylopectin ratio, if it is more, that will get properly gelatinized. So amylose to amylopectin, if ratio I will say, so 20 is to 80 or 30 is to 70. Amylase 30, amylopectin 70. In that type of ratio, we generally try to manage, which is suitable for the gelatinization and eventually in the puffing of the feed, and it will lead to a floating feed preparation. So in that way, carbohydrate utilization get a lot of emphasis, so that if carbohydrate is properly utilized, definitely protein will be spared. Next, please. So here another aspects of aquafeed technology is getting a lot of attention when we are preparing feed without these functional feed additives. Generally nowadays nobody is preparing feed, because slowly along with your feed, health is very important for us. So we just try to manage the health of the fish along with the like provision of feed, putting some kind of functional feed additives. There are additives like probiotics, prebiotics, synbiotic. They are basically nothing but beneficial microbes. These probiotics are beneficial microbes. Prebiotics are basically your structural carbohydrates, which helps the microbes to adhere to the gut of the fish and stay there. Symbiotic is nothing but the combination of probiotic and prebiotic. So previous previous slide, yeah. So the similarly phytogenics, it is basically your plant derived bioactive compounds. Essential oils means all these spices contains essential oils. They have also very significant role as far as health of the fish is concerned. Then organic acids like short chain fatty acids, organic as butyric acid, citric acid, that all comes under the category of organic acid. When these organic acids are given in the feed, they are highly immunostimulant. They enhance the utilization of minerals. They even control the pathogenic bacterial proliferation in the intestine. All these type of important roles we have seen when organic acids are given. Similarly, exogenous enzymes like your phytases, enzymes like glycanase, glucanase, all for anti-nutritional factor control or better carbohydrate utilization. Many different types of exogenous enzymes are also getting attention nowadays, and when we formulate feed, we try to incorporate all these enzymes, so to get the health benefits or better nutrient utilization benefits in case of fish. There are antioxidants, there are immunostimulants. There are antioxidants several, as you know, vitamin A or C or E are like natural antioxidant, and these antioxidant and even many polyphenolic compounds from the plants are really they show antioxidant effects. Many amino acids are also antioxidant in nature. So all these things we try to incorporate to get the benefit of antioxidant, which also helps in the immunostimulants and better health of the fish. Next, please. So precision feed formulation is again without a proper feed formulation, with whatever knowledge we discussed now, that we know about protein or lipid or carbohydrate or different type of additives and all, but you have to blend this all things, all nutrient into a proper feed. So for that you have to know about your feed formulation, ingredients you know, and then different biological aspects of the nutrients you know. Now you have to put it into a formula, so to get a proper response in the case of fish. So in that way, now feed formulations, though slowly like the concepts are now not only to balance and protein and energy or protein or lipid, it is slowly going to digestible nutrient concept. If you are talking about protein, but whether that protein is digestible or not, previously we are not much concerned about. But nowadays we are very much careful. If you are giving a certain protein, how much percentage of that protein is digestible, that we have to ensure. So life stage specific feeds means, as you know, there are different distinct life stages in fish. You will find like there is spawn, there is fry stage, there is fingerline stage, juvenile, brood. In that way, different life stages of fish are there, and that different life stages of fish have different nutritional requirements. So you have to prepare a feed keeping all these things in your mind, for which life stage you are preparing the feed, if any specific nutrient is required or any specific doses of this particular nutrient is required. Everything we have to keep in the feed. Then only we'll get a like better result. So now this feed preparation, like traditionally we are using some kind of linear programming methods or some kind of hand calculations, but it is slowly going to even like all your software based, or now recently even AI. All this artificial intelligence are included for the feed preparation, so for get better cost optimization or FCR of the feed. Next please. So here just I have listed many available softwares. You will find like WinFeed is a commonly used software by the students and all. It is freely available, but there are also softwares which you have to buy. They are also very expensive. There are best makes, there are VetSoft, there are many. So now also AI, which is really helping without like investing much in the softwares and all. If you have good like fish nutrition knowledge, you can manage your feed formulation even through AI. Next please. Yeah, so when you formulated your feed, next step comes how to prepare the feed. You have basic knowledge of the ingredient, basic knowledge about the different nutrients and its applications. Then you know about the feed formulation, then how to prepare the feed. So okay, so prepare the feed earlier, like maybe all the feed were basically compressed pelleting. So kind of you will be knowing the compressed pelleting is a kind of a screw will be there, one die will be there. That was the technology, where with motor driven or hand driven. In that way we are preparing some compressed pelleting feeds. But this slowly this old method of compressed pelleting is getting replaced with extrusion technology. Okay, so this extrusion technology is a kind of feed. With the help of this you can really prepare a floating feed, though sinking pellets are also possible through extrusion technology. So now this extrusion is technology is getting a lot of popularity. So those people are really establishing a feed mill. Everybody is going for extrusion. So extrusion gives you a lot of advantages, like that feed utilization efficiency increases, you get a floating feed. Then it is many times like pathogen free, so because of high temperature exposure and all. So all these advantages are there. And in extrusion feed also, if you are interested to put more lipid, which is really not possible in your compressed pelleting, so extrusion technology or feed gives you that like aspects where you can add even more than 15% oil. So all these benefits are there in extrusion technology. So slowly everybody is focusing towards the extrusion technology. So through that you can prepare your floating and sinking pellets. And nowadays also micro encapsulation of nutrients, like many different techniques are coming, which is not, I will not tell new, like the technology is already there, but the practice is still very low. Micro encapsulation, like through micro encapsulation you can add many micronutrients, suppose carotenoid, any singles, I mean any bioactive compound, any antioxidants, you can encapsulate that. So that encapsulation helps not to leach out to the environment. The availability of that encapsulated nutrients increases to the fish. So in that way, that is also getting for your larval feed preparation and all. Encapsulation technology is very important. So improved pellet stability is one aspect where your extrusion technology also helps in that way for preparing a feed which will be more water stable. Suppose you are preparing feed for shrimp. So shrimp, they are very slow feeders, they are nibbling feeders, so they take time, minimum 1 hour to 2 hour that time takes. So that in that way that is used. So next is your I just told about this extrusion technology, how it works. It is a high temperature short time processing. Temperature will be around 150 degrees centigrade, but the time exposure is very small. So I mean small in like in some seconds the exposure. So that is why the nutrient doesn't get charred, and in that temperature it is properly processed. So in that high temperature also, with moisture, little high moisture, where we keep around 24-25% moisture. So what happens was that starch gelatinization, cooking of the starch happens very nicely. So when the starch gelatinization happens, so that helps for kind of a floating feed preparation, and of course the digestibility of the nutrient also increases. So in that way we prepare our floating feed or slow sinking feed or sinking pellets, providing how combination of ingredients, this floating, slow sinking and sinking pellets are possible. And of course the pellet density will be less. When the pellet density is less, that will float on the water. With that also, that is very water stable. It will remain floating. Many a times in ponds we have seen a properly extruded feed floats minimum 1 hour. So there is absolutely no problem. Next please. So this advanced extrusion parameters, like all, when we prepare moisture and temperature, we are specifically very careful to screw configuration and shear force. I will show you that die design and expansion ratio, impact on nutrient retention and pellet quality. All these get lot of attention, because without proper moisture and temperature, you will not get that. Anyway, this is the feed production line. When we go for a feed preparation in the feed technology, you will find like proper pulverizer or grinding machine, proper mixing. After mixing, you go for kind of a conditioning. Then extruder machines are required for the preparation of floating pellets or extruded pellets. Then that will be cooled or dried to remove the extra moisture. Then if you want to add some kind of color or lipid or any bioactive compound which is heat sensitive, that through this flavor roller that can be added. So then cooling machine and stitching, packaging, all these are the feed production line. These are the instruments which are involved for feed preparation. Next please. Yeah, this is the only picture of a like a feed mill, how everything is arranged, you can see. So maybe dryer, I mean your pulverizer, dryer, extruder, everything we arrange in that way. Next please. So as I told you, like first step of feed preparation starts with grinding. When you procure the ingredient, there are different instruments for grinding. Different types of instruments are meaning different pulverizers. The pulverizers of different capacity, different function. So, but end of the this process, what we want? We want a fine powder. Okay. So this fine powder which should be suitable for feed preparation. Fine powder, when I'm talking, if I tell you the size of this fine powder for our finfish preparation, generally we prefer like around 400 micron size, whereas for your shrimp and all, we prefer around 200 micron size. So in that way, the micron size of the particle is also important when for proper binding, proper pelleting. That there is also this micron size of pellet powders are important. There are hammer mills, there are artisan mills, there are roller cutters, there are disc mills. There are many, like nowadays also a particular grinding machine or pulverizer is coming, that is called multi crackers, which is very very important for our very newly introduced, I would say not more than 5 years. Maybe this multi crackers are also getting now attention in pulverizing the ingredients. Next please. Yeah, just that multi-cracker machine I was telling about. This is a multi-cracker machine. So that multiple breaking points are there. When ingredient goes inside, it in multiple cracking points are there. So in that way, it is precision, efficiency, and feed quality gets better as it very nicely powder that. There are also in machine which is called air swept pulverizer. So for fine particle, these air swept pulverizers are preferred, where there is no screen is used, because that screen only in the pulverizers decide what will be the particle size of the ingredient. But in that, these are the screens or sieves. You can see the different pore size determines what will be the particle size. But in that your air swept pulverizer, generally screens are not used. Next please. Yeah, I was telling about the different pulverizers have different types of applications. So nowadays, these multi-cracker mills are getting a lot of attention, and people are really going for multi-cracker mill. Though there is a role of hammer mill or roller mill, depending upon the what type of feed you are planning to prepare. If you are simple cost effective feed, so hammer mills are very common. So mostly in Indian, whatever feed mills if you will visit, you will find hammer mills are mostly common type of pulverizers available in the feed mills. Next, please. So after our like powdering or pulverizing the ingredients, we go for proper mixing. So similarly for mixing also different type of machines are available. There are paddle mixtures, ribbon mixtures, planetary mixtures, vertical mixtures. So like intensive counter current mixtures. So there are different types of mixture. The role of these mixtures are basically a homogeneous mixture we want to attain. So when the different type of ingredients are there, so you mix, then we go for a homogeneous blend. So with the help of only machines that is possible. Hand mixing will not help you to find uniform mixing. So for that, different type of mixtures are used. Next, please. So if you'll compare also these different type of mixtures, so they have in twin sap mixtures are very high in excellent in quality. Similarly, counter current mixtures are also excellent in their mixing ability. So there are the different type of applications also, depending upon the coefficient value, which is how much efficient. In that way, the mixtures are used in the feed mills. Next, please. So yeah, practical selection guidance. Like my point is, like when we are going for protein feed preparation, so this twin saft or counter current mixture, if you are using high oil, then maybe plowshare and coating instrument. Then for functional additive mixing, you can use some kind of intensive pre-mixing conditions. So these are the conditions what we follow for a mixing and feed preparation. Next, please. Yeah, conditioning is also very important step in feed preparation. So after mixing, so when our powder is different ingredients are mixed or powders are mixed properly, then we go for a step that is called conditioning. So conditioning is a kind of physical and thermal processing, which is a cooking process. Basically in that cooking process, we what we do is at certain temperature, when 2 to 3 minutes maximum, when it get exposed with this steam injection, like a hot steam will be injected to that, and one pedal mixture type of thing will be there that facilitates the protein to some extent cooking, but starch gelatinization also happens nicely there. And if it is any anti-nutritional factor is there, that also reduces in that stage. And if microbial or any kind of contamination is there, that is also controlled. So that is the step of conditioning. After mixing, we go for conditioning, then we go for extrusion. For extrusion, these dyes are very very important. So in traditional compressed pelleting, this type of flat dyes, or it was common flat dyes. Ring dyes are very popular in case of our shrimp feed preparation. So you can find some motors are there. It will be rotating inside the ring die. So and from here the pellets come out, and with the help of a blade that is cut. So in that way, ring dyes are used for, and very compressed pellets you will get. Very nice bound pellets you will get from the. Please. Next. Yeah, in extrusion, the most important thing is the screw. So the screw is, you can see here, previously this single screws were very very common, but nowadays twin screws are very popular. Now like nobody is going for single screw. So this double screw or twin screws are very effective, because the shear force or the frictional force is high, that leads to better feed processing. So then it is self-cleaning type. You don't have to open and clean after every use. So then it's of course expensive, but the product qualities are in the twin screw are better. So it has three distinct sections, like solid conveying, melt, and melt pumping. So when we use our feed through like twin screw for our feed preparation, generally it gives a very high quality product. So nowadays twin screws are very very popular. Next, please. After you are getting your pellet by using the twin screw, so the pellets will be containing some quantity of moisture, so that moisture need to be removed. So when in compressed pelleting, we generally use around 16 to 17% moisture. That ring dye what I showed you just before for our shrimp feed preparation, very less quantity of moisture is used. And when I am telling cooling, that means with simply a fan action, by blowing cold wind, we can reduce that moisture quantities. For that reason I'm telling cooling. But drying, when in that extrusion machine, when you are preparing a floating feed and all, for that preparation we generally use around 24-25% of moisture minimum. So in that case moisture quantity will be high, so that need to be removed. As per BIS standard, Bureau of Indian Standards, moisture quantity should be less than at least 12%. So in that way, so we put into some kind of dryer. There are many different types of dryer, like a continuous dryer which are multiple layers. So it will be going the first layer, then coming to the second, then third, maybe in fourth layer it will go out after drying. So the process takes minimum 15 minutes to sometimes half an hour. In that way, we just go for drying for the removal of moisture. Next please. So crumbling, one step where if you want to produce little fine particles or to properly fit into the mouth size of the fish, very small pellets are many times difficult to prepare. So around 3 pellets are prepared, and that is crumbled. Crumbled means broken. So for breaking, it may not float. So many times these crumbled feeds are just kind of a sinking pellets, but that crumbling stay or kind of like in when it from the that extruder, the pellets will come out. This kind of crumbling machines or screening are there to give it a proper round shape, and in that way some powders are also generated, that is also used for some kind of small fish species. So that is the role of crumbling. Next please. So this is fat coater, as fat is a very heat sensitive like ingredient. So what you do is, in case of your extruder process, when it is temperature is 150 degree, I told you, like it ranges the 125 to 150 degree. So with this high temperature, so there is a chance like your fat will be denatured. So for that reason, and also more fat is not used because it will make the dye lubricated, the compactness of the pellets will also go. So for that reason, fat is not added in the feed formulation initially. So when the feed, I mean before when we prepare the feed, when we get the feed, so after that we go for kind of a drying, and in that little warm stage of the pellets, the fat is sprayed into that. So there is a drum coaters or fat coaters are used. There is also like machines which are called like vacuum coating, which are uniform coating. So vacuum coater also very popular. Maybe next slide I have shown you the vacuum coater. Next please. Please, next please. These are the vacuum coaters for uniform coating, as well as if you want to coat oil more than 10%, if you want to keep more oil in the pellet, so vacuum coaters are useful. With only drum coating, probably you may not achieve that. So in that way, vacuum coaters are used. Next please. Yes, then after your feed preparation is over, with that you have to store it. So proper storage is very very important. As you know, it's that aqua feeds are highly nutritious, like you are putting lot of you are keeping lot of protein level, lipid level. So without the proper storage, it will attract insect, it will attract all fungus or bacteria to grow. Even if you are not properly storing, means all this rat or mouse will also enter, all the rodent infestation will happen. So in that way, your proper storage of your feeds are very very important. And we never store the feeds, let it be at a go 20-30 packets, no. So 8-10 packets are preferred maximum, because if you are preparing 50 kg packet and keeping 10 packets in a stack, so entirely the 9 packet load will come to the bottom packet. So in that way, the feed will be broken or cracked. So that all these aspects we have to be very careful. So and should not be stored more than 10 sacks high. So then generally we prefer like maximum storage period should be 90 days, not more than that. So we don't store for prolonged period. And a proper ventilated room. Temperature should be 20 to 22 degrees centigrade, and humidity should be below 75, so that with that low humidity and low temperature you can prevent the bacteria or fungus or mold growth. But once that fungus or bacteria growth comes, and unnecessary, the temperature of the product will increase. If the rodents will be there, they will also defecate or urinate, then the temperature also of the warehouse will increase. That will again lead to some kind of fungus infection and all. So everything you have to be very, very careful, and moisture level should be below 12%. And nowadays this type of silos are mostly preferred, so they are very well ventilated, airtight. Sometimes carbon dioxide quantity is more. In that way, the proper storage is giving a lot of attention. So okay, so with this, our feed preparation and storage or application, we got an idea. But here some little modern aspects where we are nowadays emphasizing when you are preparing feed. So like gut health of the fish. So when you are properly processing, keeping the nutrients, or keeping the bioactive compound or functional carbohydrate, it is really enhancing the gut performance of the fish in terms of microbial population, in terms of its controlling the inflammation of the gut. So the nutrient utilization and health of the fish is better. And we are giving lot of, these are the modern aspect where we are putting lot of emphasis nowadays and preparing our feed. Next please. Similarly, nutritional immunology also getting lot of attention. Whatever nutrients are responsible for some kind of immunostimulation. Let it be, for one example, if I'll say like one beta glucan or many different kind of amino acids or even vitamins, trace minerals, they are getting, like, we are very particular how to use all these items so that health of the fish will get better. So trend immunity, one concept, is also getting a lot of attention now. If we are giving some kind of bioactive compounds or some kind of vitamins or minerals through feed, how it is triggering the innate immunity function of the fish, and that is getting into the memory of the innate immunity. So that with again little exposure of those nutrient or that type of pathogens, that innate immunity is coming into action, basically through some histone modification or epigenetics analysis. This type of things are very new area of science. Through aqua feed and feed technology, we are connecting and trying to do some work, or in international arena also this type of roles things are going on. Next please. So environmental and climate smart aquafeed is another area. So where we should not destroy our environment through our aquaculture practice, and aquafeed should not be one of the agent for that. So for that reason, we are very careful, and this modern feed technology also taking care of the things, like how with low protein, if you can manage that with amino acid, with proper balance of amino acid. If proper balance of amino acid is there, because protein as such is not important, the amino acids are there. If the amino acid balance you are making, so probably it is helping the fish to grow. So unnecessarily the protein loss will not happen to the environment. Similarly, phosphorus is another agent which go to the environment, creates a lot of problem, or that eutrophication and all. So we take care of the how phosphorus utilization will happen in a better way by providing some kind of phytase enzymes and other things. So in that way also we are responsible for managing the environment. Carbon footprint means locally available ingredients you should use. You should not use the ingredient which is traveling from a longer distance, and for that they are creating some kind of carbon emission. So that also you have to be careful. Circular bioeconomy means the ingredients which are we are using, which are waste materials, waste into wealth. Like I was talking about the insects. So insects are utilizing basically the organic material and converting that, and we are getting a biomass that is getting used in aquafeed formulation. So in that way also we are careful. These are the modern aspects. Next please. So here quality control, I put this slide because for the young population, those are those want to make a career, or else want to open something like entrepreneur activity. This analysis of nutrients, preparation of feed, all these things plays a very, very important role, as we discussed. So analysis of all these nutrients like amino acid analysis, fatty acid analysis, proximate analysis, there are really less skilled manpower for all this. So like kind of a aqua clinic, aqua feed clinic, all these things can be established, and to check the quality and whatever feeds are we are preparing or available in the market or getting for the certification at all. In future, this type of thing also will get some kind of attention where quality control or feed evaluation will be checked. So in that way, skilled manpowers are required. We should give attention to that. Next, please. So in that future trend, I want to tell like some other aspects are coming, like insect oil. So insect meal we talked about, but insect oil is also another important aspect, which will replace even vegetable oils, and insect oil can be used. Then trend immunity, I have already told you. Then personalized feed for now one size all type of feed is basically used in our aquaculture, but personalized feed means you have to very specific for carnivorous fish or herbivorous fish, or if any fish is utilizing one ingredient properly, or if one ingredient is creating some problem for the fish. So on those aspects we have to be careful. That comes under the personalized feed. So and definitely integration of AI, automation and sustainability metrics have to give a lot of emphasis nowadays. Also it is coming. So thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable insights. You highlighted the recent advances in aquafeed technology, the growing importance of formulated feeds in meeting the nutritional demands of modern aquaculture, and discussion on the evaluation from the conventional feed to the precision formulated dietary feeds. The session also provided the valuable insights into the advanced feeding processing technologies and extrusion techniques and quality control measures. Now, thank you so much, sir. Now, participants who have any question may kindly raise your hand, unmute themselves and ask. Mr. Anmol Kulkarni, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, doctor. Good morning, team.
Good morning.
I have a question that there is a one trend ongoing. It's regarding that insect feed. There are some players, those are doing freeze drying of those worms for aquaculture feed.
Yes.
So we have freeze drying setup. We are not doing anything in that area. But I was always curious about that raw material. How to get raw material, how to prepare that raw material for. Can you please just put a little bit light on that side, raw material?
Okay. I got your idea. You see, the thing is that insect meal production, though last 2-3 years the emphasis it went to the insect meal production, but really it is not getting proper direction because of final processing and use in aquafeed formulations. Okay, so am I audible?
Yeah.
So then the lot of many standardized let be production of insect meal, black soldier fly larvae and all. So when black soldier fly larvae you have produced, there are lipid quantity is also very high. So first that lipid need to be removed. So you have to press and remove the lipid. So a lipid free ingredient only contains around 65-70% protein. So you are doing, you told like some kind of freeze drying you are planning. So
Correct.
freeze drying itself again adding to the cost of the processing.
Yeah, that's true.
So that is of course a nice technique for preparing any ingredient, because when your lyophilization you are doing, you are not exposing to any sunlight or anything or any heat. Very nicely you are removing that, but that leads to that adding price to that ingredient.
Correct.
And people are really not, when we are telling it's an alternative ingredient and the cost is more than fish meal, then people are not buying it. That is a problem.
Okay.
So then you have to work on that direction, maybe some kind of cheaper drying procedure, like maybe with the solar or something. If you can design and you can produce your insect meal with cheaper cost than fish meal, then buyers are there. And that because of that steady availability of the product, and you cannot claim, like I discussed with many feed mill operators, they're telling, sir, if any company or any producer of insect meal can promise to give, let it be daily 200 kg 500 kg daily, or at the end of the month, let it be 1000 kg, we will take. So that type of promise nobody is making. So if somebody is producing 50 kg in 2 days, somebody is 100 kg in 5 days. So there is no that type of standard productions for this in insect milk. So that is what creating problem basically. And whoever is producing, they are thinking like we are producing black gold. So they are asking like a exorbitantly high price. Okay, if 200 per kg you will tell for one ingredient, so naturally people will hesitate to buy. So these are the aspects with, but absolutely it is a fantastic ingredient. The protein amino acid composition is very high. So but the processing, as I told you, you have to remove the lipid, you have to dry it properly, then you have to keep the cost minimum. That becomes challenge. But some kind of now some kind like a kind of machinery, one Insectica, one company from Israel. So they are telling like a bioreactor for the production of insects with a limited space. All the waste material will be given, but it is a kind of a fully like scientific setup. So with that, they are maximizing the production. Then different types of oil extracting machines are also designed. Very comfortably, the oil will be extracted. So in that way, still with that, if you are keeping your price below fish meal, then only takers are there. This is what I would like to tell you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Dr. Nagajyoti sir from TNG, if you raise the hand. Sir, you can unmute and ask your question.
Sir, very nice presentation, sir. Sir, I would like to know about this role of amino acids in this swim feeds. Yeah, there is an organization in Tamil Nadu which is known as Tablet Limited, and they have launched one patented amino acids feed. So I would like you to express, how to prepare this amino acids preparation and where it is, how it is used.
Yeah. As you are telling about amino acid, you should understand the fundamental of amino acid. It is the building block of protein. Okay, protein is made up of amino acids. So that you cannot synthesize it. You are deriving from the protein only, because when good quality protein you are providing, if good quality means if it should contain all the 10 essential amino acids. So that is arginine, histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, whatever. Like these 10 essential amino acids are there at right proportion, then and in a balanced form. That is we call ideal protein. So when it is loaded with all essential amino acids. So there is also a concept called amino acid barrel theory. So what is this amino acid barrel theory? Earlier there was a understanding, if you are preparing a feed, you are not keeping any proper proportion of protein content, just put 2 limiting amino acid like methionine and lysine, your feed is okay. But this amino acid barrel theory is telling us, if you are taking a barrel, it is only 2 sides it is intact with methionine and lysine, other sides are broken. So all the water will go. Okay, the concept now that is not working, like with only 2 amino acid you can manage. So you have to keep all the 10 essential amino acid which are required for the fish or shrimp in proper proportion or proper quantity. Then only you will get the result. And that also comes under the category of precision feeding we are telling nowadays. So that means whatever required you please put. Then only you will get the optimum performance. So anybody who is formulating a feed or preparing a feed or advocating you something, without this full amino acid composition or ideal protein composition, it will never work. Okay, that is what I will try to tell you.
Sir, in chat box one question came. Sir, it is possible to make a feed that does not degrade easily or remains floating for more than 1 day after feeding.
After 1 day?
1 day after feeding. Whether it remains floating for more than 1 day after feeding.
Application. Okay. Yeah, that you see, that I will again not recommend. Giving a feed to a fish, our intention is fish should eat. If fish is hungry, within 20 minutes time the fish will eat. Okay. If fish is not hungry, diseased, you are giving feed and it is floating for 2 hours, more than 2 hours, naturally with the water action, the nutrients will leach out. Or when it is very nutritious and in water, some bacterial growth will also happen. Okay, so that aspect you cannot, all the mineral will leach out. So our intention is fish should eat that feed if fish is hungry, and that activity will finish within half an hour time. To ensure proper feeding, we prepare a floating feed. Largely we expect, like if it is floating 1 hour or 1.5 hour in the water, that is sufficient. Okay, and if it is floating for 2 days and all, it is not a feed. You are just giving a plastic, putting into the water. So after eating that also, that will not be going to be utilized by the fish. Okay, if it's a food or feed, it to be utilized by the animal or fish. And if it is floating 1 to 2 hour maximum, that is sufficient. And for a prolonged period, if it is floating and if you are expecting that, you are expecting wrong. We should not do that. Okay, got the idea?
Yes, sir. One more question has came. How does the inclusion of bile acids in shrimp and fish feed improve the lipid digestion, hepatopancreatic health, and feed conversion efficiency under high density culture conditions?
Yeah, there are so many studies regarding that bile acid and all. As you know, bile emulsifies the lipid. So in a normal digestion process, so bile, as a bile salt, it binds with the lipid and forms a micelles, and that interacts with the lipase enzymes in the body, and the lipase degrades the lipid in form of fatty acid or triglyceride and makes it simplified, so it get absorbed by the body. So for bile salts, when you are applying, or bile acid when you are applying, so that is largely doing the same thing, which is helping the digestion process. You are aiding to the digestion. Okay, you are, in that way it is very helpful. Even I would tell you certain compounds, like your one, its name is, it's not a pure amino acid, it is taurine. Taurine helps for the bile acid synthesis. So people have also got, like after application of taurine, which is releasing the bile acid and helping the digestion. So direct bile salts or bile acid also does the same role. So its applications are there. So when you give, we get the benefits in terms of lipid utilization.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. One more question, sir. Is there any AI model available for precision feed formulation?
AI model as such not available. So, but if you have little prior knowledge of fish nutrition, so in terms of what are the preferred ingredients for a particular fish species, how much protein or lipid is required for that fish species, what are the common what is that way of practice, like, so whether like it's herbivorous, carnivorous, in that way, general like some prerequisites of feed formulation we tell. Prerequisites means information regarding your fish, information in the prerequisite of any your doing common AI tool, ChatGPT. If you will put your information there, you can get a information like a feed formula from that. Then you have to validate whatever they are giving. If you are not expert, you will do a mistake. So you have to find out, okay, that is still correct or not. You can definitely use it.
One more question, sir. So, what is the optimum protein percentage in the shrimp feed? Does their optimum protein percentage level changing depending on a season?
That is like optimum feeding level. If I would say, you see, if you compare your monodon with vanami, monodon requires more protein than vanami. So vanami with like in culture condition 35% protein also people are managing. You are giving that, and 35% protein level you are managing, and your shrimp is growing absolutely no problem. For monodon little more is required. So what my point is, species wise variations are there, but seasonal variations in terms of protein, that we generally don't see. In general, what happens now in winter, in general feed intake reduces. fish doesn't or shrimp doesn't eat more because their metabolic process becomes slower. So when we add that much of feed or that much of protein, generally that don't get utilized. So in that way, feed intake reduces. So with feed, whatever nutrient utilization also reduces. Okay, so you have to clarify that through the that check tray methods and all, like whether fish is eating or shrimp is eating or not. If your shrimp is not eating, so better you reduce the feed quantity. So protein you can keep the same. So that's what I can advise.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we can conclude. But before concluding, I now invite Dr. Niveta CK, Innovation Research Fellow, to make an announcement on our social media initiatives.
Thank you, Archana. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Niveta CK, Innovation Research Fellow, MANAGE-FISHub. I would like to make a quick announcement about our MANAGE-FISHub social media handles. As we know, social media is a powerful platform to connect people, and MANAGE-FISHub has active social media handles to stay connected with fisheries and aquaculture community. We are present on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where we regularly share updates on innovations, startups, training programs, and success stories from the fisheries sector. I would like to highlight our MANAGE-FISHub YouTube channel, where we have recently started releasing podcast episodes featuring fisheries entrepreneurs, innovators, researchers, and industry experts. I'm hosting this podcast series on behalf of MANAGE-FISHub. So our YouTube channel link is available in the chat box. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. So please do follow, like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay connected with MANAGE-FISHub and our upcoming initiatives. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we came to the end of the today's session. On behalf of MANAGE-FISHub, I sincerely thank our esteemed speaker for sharing his valuable insights, and all the dignitaries, participants, and organizing team members for their active participation and support. We look forward for your continued engagement for the upcoming sessions of the MANAGE-FISHTech webinar series. Before we conclude, I'd like to inform you that the next session, scheduled on 26th January 2026, Dr. Ravi Bairaya, guest faculty, Department of Fish Processing Technology of KUFOS, will deliver a session on bioactive peptide production from the fish waste. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, you can wind up.
Yes, sir.